So here we are, Ronnie, in the middle of nowhere, on a field. Nothing is anywhere around here. You're not in the city, you're not anywhere. And look at all these people. Literally, right now, a bus just pulled up.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because sex sells, my boy. It's all in the name.
Meet Palle Bo, a digital nomad from Denmark on an epic journey around the world.
Tomorrow, I've been here in Cape Town for exactly 2 months. And tomorrow morning, I'm leaving Cape Town for this time. But I will be back because it's still my favorite place on the planet. I chose to be here and had my longest stay in any place on my journey so far, 2 months. Normally it's only a week, 2 weeks, some places 1 month. But this is the first time I've stayed in one place for 2 months, and that is because I just love this place. Also, I had quite a bit of work to do, so I've been working a lot here, but then just enjoying being here in this amazing place. I'm standing right here at the foot of Table Mountain, and what can you say? I am short of words. This place is just amazing, and I've had a really good time. But now I'm ready to take on the next leg of my journey, which is going to be a giant road trip, 20 days of driving all the way up to Johannesburg, and I'm so looking forward to that. My name is Palle Bo, and I gotta keep moving.
Hey you, I am finally back and I have a ton of exciting stuff to share with you in the upcoming weeks. When I left you on my journey here in the Radio Vagabond, I was in Cape Town and about to go on a road trip. And this is where it gets a little bit confusing, so lean in and pay attention. Right now, as I'm editing this, I'm actually also in Cape Town. But what you're about to hear was recorded on my last visit here. Right now, here in June 2020, I'm still under COVID-19 lockdown and not able to go anywhere. I'm getting itchy feet, and it's nice to be able to pretend I'm moving through listening to these recordings. If you also need to scratch that travel itch, I think you're gonna like these upcoming episodes. And now we're heading off, starting at the place that's been my home for 2 months on Kloof Neck Road, close to Table Mountain in Cape Town. And we're heading towards Cap Agulhas. My name is Palle Bo, and this is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
The road trip has begun. I'm in the car and I've started my 20-day road trip. It's a beautiful sunny morning here in Cape Town, and I got KFM's morning show on the radio, and it's just so good, and I'm so happy, and I'm so anxious to get started and get out of Cape Town now. This city that I've loved for 2 months, and taking on the garden route. This episode is brought to you in part by this website called hotels25.com. If you're a regular listener, you have heard me mention this before, and I can't say this enough. This is a cool website. It helps you find the cheapest hotel rooms around the world. Hotels25.com. You should try it out. It actually works. It's 12:30 right now, and I'm still driving. I've been driving around 180 kilometers for the last 4 hours. I've taken it slow. I've made a lot of stops, looking at the nature. My destination is Agulhas National Park. I believe that's the way it's been said. Otherwise, I'll correct myself later. It's the southernmost tip of Africa, and this is where I'm going to be spending the night. But I'm not taking the direct route there. First, I went along the coastline at what was it called? Wales Coast, I think, and it was one of those beautiful beautiful coastlines, almost like a little bit like Chapman's Peak Drive, where you would just film a commercial for a brand new car. It's that kind of road. It's so beautiful. Let me just interrupt myself here. Yes, it's pretty close. The Wales coast that I was talking about in this clip is called Cape Wales Coast, and it's on the first stretch of the Garden Route, starting in Cape Town down to Cabagulas, where I'm spending the night, the southernmost tip of Africa. The place I was talking about is close to Hermanos, where there are many things like shops and restaurants called something with Wales Coast. It's right after I passed False Bay, that got its name at least 300 years ago by some sailors who confused the bay with Table Bay, a little bit to the north. Anyway, here in the Cape Whale Coast, there aren't really that many whales this time of the year when I did the road trip, but every year between June and November, the coming of whales in the Western Cape's southern coastline is quite remarkable. Okay, let's go back in the car. And then at Hermanos, I made a turn again, and now I'm heading north through some rural country. A lot of fields here. It almost looks like cornfields. I saw a field filled with sheep, and this is because I'm heading up to a point called Grayton. Should be in the mountains and should also be a very beautiful scenic route to take. All in all, I'm taking the scenic route. I'm going to be driving around 350 to 400 kilometers today, and it is just beautiful, and I'm enjoying myself, making frequent stops, looking at the nature, having a cup of coffee here and there, and just enjoying myself. And at the same time listening to an audiobook that I just rented, a good old John Grisham novel. So I'm in a mystery right now, and of course something with lawyers. But John Grisham's always good, and good for a road trip. Now I've been to Grayton and heading out on a dirt road. Grayton is this beautiful little village with mountains all around it, and it's got a lot of cafes and restaurants and small nice shops. And right here on this dirt road, a group of horses are just strolling past me. Yeah, that's what happens on a regular day apparently here. Yeah, 5 horses here and a donkey. Not fenced in or anything, just walking along the road. Yeah, whatever. But Grayton is really a beautiful place, very cozy, and it could surprise me that there'd be so many shops and cafes, because it doesn't strike me as a place where you'd see a lot of tourists, and the village was not that big, so yeah, but very, very beautiful and very nice. This is Garden Route, and you'll probably hear me say this a lot in the coming days. Wow, this is beautiful. This is so beautiful. If you're one of those people that have shared this podcast on social media, or maybe just told a friend out there in real life, I just want to say thank you so much. That means so much to me. Thank you so much. These dirt roads are continuing. I've been driving on dirt roads for, let's say, 20-30 kilometers. It's not bad roads. It's quite decent dirt roads, but there is nothing here. There are no people. Well, there's a bunch of sheep right there. But my navigation said that I was supposed to turn right, and well,
it could not happen because there was the road was blocked, and I couldn't turn right. So I continued straight on, and it rerouted me. So hopefully I can get this way, and hopefully I'll have some pavement under the wheels shortly, because this is too much in the middle of nowhere. But still beautiful. Still very beautiful. Let me just excuse the wind in the microphone, but there's a good reason for that. Almost 2 months ago, I was at the most western point of Africa. That was a beautiful night in Dakar, Senegal. And right now, at this very moment, I am the one person most southern in Africa. The ocean is magnificent. I'm pretty close to the iconic lighthouse here in Agulhas. And as I was about to go down here, the hostess of the hostel that I'm staying at, she looked at me and said, "Let me just give you one suggestion, is that don't wear that T-shirt." And then I realized I was wearing my Cape Point T-shirt. There's sort of a competition between those two spots, and this is the southernmost tip of Africa. And Cape Point, they sometimes I feel that they're making people believe that is the southernmost point of Africa, but it isn't. So right now I'm here. I've reached the southernmost point of Africa, and that pretty much concludes day one of my South African road trip. Tomorrow I'm going to Oudtshoorn, a little bit further northeast, and I'm so looking forward to that. My name is Palabo, and I gotta keep moving. See ya. And we'll continue on day 2 of the road trip in a few minutes. I start the day with chatting to the manager of the hostel about the rivalry between Capagulas and Cape Point. But before that, I want to correct myself. When I said that I'd been at the westernmost point of Africa when I was in Dakar, it's not totally accurate. I was in the westernmost point of mainland Africa. It's called La Puente des Almadies and is in Dakar, Senegal. But technically, if you go approximately 650 kilometers, 400 miles west of Dakar into the Atlantic Ocean, you'll reach some islands that are also a part of Africa. It's the country Cape Verde, a small island state, and it's actually a place I'm going to be visiting a little bit later on my trip. So, just to get the facts straight here. Before we continue, I have some news I want to share with you. While I've been away, I've also been working on a brand new website for the RadioVagabond.com, and I think you should check it out. There are a ton of new features and things, and I hope you really will enjoy the experience. It is on the RadioVagabond.com, and if you go to blog posts of each episode, you can see a ton of photos. I've also put a map in the post for this episode on the RadioVagabond.com so you can see where I'm driving. Also, if you'd like to contact me, there's a new, easy way to reach me. So drop me a line and tell me where you are right now. And maybe I'll read out your email right here on the show. Again, it's theRadioVagabond.com. This episode is brought to you in part by Hotels25.com. It's a website that helps you find the best prices on hotels around the world. Hotels25.com.
This is the Radio Vagabond podcast.
Okay, it's time to wake up on day 2 of my big South African road trip. And we start right here in Capagulas, right after breakfast, just before I'm getting into the car and continuing.
So, Stephanie, we're here at Capagulas Backpackers. Are you the owner, or?
I've been managing the Backpackers for 12 years. I'm working with the owner for, 11 years of the 12. A year after she started, I started working with her.
Yeah. When I came here, I spoke to your colleague, and she gave me a lot of tips about where to go, and then she said, you might want to change that T-shirt before you go. And then I realized I was wearing a Cape Point T-shirt. Is there sort of a rivalry between the two places?
Well, long time ago, there was a big debate, in actual fact. They got people from all over to actually look where the most southern tip lies compared to where Cape Point is. So, yes, there was a big rivalry way back in the day, but obviously...
Before satellite photos?
Yes, before satellite photos. They advertise themselves as where the two oceans meet and to be the most southern tip. But we corrected them on that. We're the most southern tip, and this is really where the oceans meet, because you can feel the water on the Atlantic Ocean is cold. There's a 10-degree difference between Struisbaai and Agulhas in a 10-kilometer radius. Yeah. The other thing with the two oceans was there's a company called Two Oceans. They make wine. And they had to change all their labels and stuff because of false advertising. Oh. But so we are the real...
You are the real deal.
Like we the tip of Africa.
Well, congratulations on winning that one.
Yeah.
And also, Erin told me that you have a very special long beach here.
Correct. The beach is 300 meters from the backpackers. It's the longest stretch of white sandy beach in the southern hemisphere. It goes from us all the way 14 kilometers. Your first break on low tide only is when it meets up with the De Mont Nature Reserve.
But seriously, 14 kilometers? That doesn't sound like enormous beach.
Unless you walk it, then 14 kilometers is like...
I know, but still. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the white sandy beach, where it's like really a good swim beach and it's sandy. It's like a real beach, if you can put it like that.
And that is in the Indian Ocean, so the water's warm.
Beautiful. There. Yeah, nice and warm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So can you sum up in 60 seconds why should people come to Agulhas?
60 seconds, let's go. Okay. Agulhas, first of all, you're at the tip of Africa. How often do you end up on the tip of a continent? And, of course, we have beautiful oceans here to swim. It's safe swimming. We've never had drownings in years.
No sharks?
Years. There is sharks here, obviously, but because it's a sandbank and it's shallow, the sharks don't come in close. There's sharks out there, big ones, but they're not down here. No. I've been coming here my whole life. I've grown up, basically, here. I'm from Cape Town, but my grandparents had holiday homes here.
And you never lost a toe to a shark?
Never any toes to sharks. Oh, and of course the beautiful stingrays. Did you go see the stingrays?
I did not see them, no.
Oh, no. You must go see Pari if you have a moment. Yeah. Really spectacular.
Tell me about the stingrays. They're enormous.
Correct. They've been living in the harbour since I was a kid. We used to jump off the boats and swim, and then all of a sudden something would move underneath you. And it'd be the stingray. So we'd be flying the stingray, what we used to call as kids. Yeah, the stingrays is a big attraction. That one called Pari, he's wider than this. This is a couple of meters.
It's for people who don't know what a stingray is, it's a very big flat fish.
It's the ray family. You get manta rays and the stingrays, eel rays, but it's nothing like the eel rays. But these are the big flat ones.
Yeah, and I was told that you have around 9 or 10 here, and they're very tame.
Yeah, correct. They all live in the harbour. So when the boats come in, the stingrays come for food because the fishermen gut the fish and then they throw the guts in the water and the stingrays come eat. Like on the photo that you see there, we've taken some sardines and stuff and we've just put it like underneath, and then the stingray comes and he eats from us.
Yeah, you can hand feed the big stingrays.
Yeah, it's an amazing experience. Yeah. So if you get a chance, see if you can go quickly now and see if you can see them.
Yeah, I will. Thank you so much. And this place, the Cape Agulhas Backpackers, it's a beautiful place, a very, very cozy and friendly staff. So thank you for hosting me tonight.
It's a pleasure. You're welcome back any day.
It's day 2 of my South African road trip. I left Agulhas, the backpackers, Cape Agulhas Backpackers, and now I'm heading northeast to to a place called Outzorn. And on the way there, I will be going into some caves, hopefully, even though I was told that it's a good idea to buy tickets in advance. And then I'm going to see a cafe with a funny name. Let me wait on telling that story until I get there. It's quite a funny story. And then, of course, again today I'll be driving through some amazing scenery here on the Garden Route. My name is Palle Bo, and this is the Radio Vagabond podcast. I don't even know how to begin to describe the landscape I'm driving in right now. I'm in the mountains, and it's just so unbelievable beautiful. And the first 100 kilometers or so were actually quite boring, but now, wow, it's so beautiful. Down below there's a river running. Across from that I can see more mountains higher than where I am. I try to take pictures, but it just doesn't do this landscape justice. I can't really photograph what's here, and I can definitely not describe it. It's so beautiful. On the RadioVagabond.com, I can pinpoint exactly on a map where I am right now, so you can go and check it out in case you're ever doing a road trip in this area. You should definitely come this way. So beautiful. I've reached Outzorn, the ostrich capital of the world. It's a city with around 60,000 people. It's not that big. It's 300 kilometers northeast of Agulhas, where I was this morning. And along the way, as you heard, I was driving through some amazing scenery in the mountains. It was just so beautiful. So if you're ever doing the garden route, make sure that you take that road through from Agulhas to Outzorn, or the other way around. After I was driving in those mountains that you heard just before, I went through a small village called Berrydale, and then I was driving for a very long time, I think 25 kilometers, without anything. There were no houses, no shops, nothing. Except all of a sudden, in the middle of a field, there was a sign saying Ronnie's sex shop. And then 1 kilometer later, there was a house in 2 lines that said Ronnie's shop, painted in red on a white wall. And then beside Ronnie's, somebody had written also in red paint the word sex. But you could tell that it was not the same typography. It was not written by the same person, and it was just something written on there. So it said Ronnie's sex shop. And I pulled over and saw a lot of people. So many cars. There was a bus pulling up as well at the same time as me. And people were sitting on the patio with beers and drinks and burgers and stuff like that. And there was a place where they sold fast food called Roadkill, and beside it was a small bar where they sold the drinks. Inside the bar you could see business cards pinned on the wall. There wasn't a clear spot for any more business cards, and people have written their names on the white wall in the area around the bathroom, also all over. I think even on the ceiling it was written everywhere. And then there was a third room, a small room where they sold T-shirts with Ronnie's sex shop. And inside that room, I found Ronnie. He was an old man holding a canned beer, and he had gray hair and gray beard. The hair went down to his waist, and the beard was also very long. I found the legendary Ronnie of Ronnie's sex shop. So here we are, Ronnie, in the middle of nowhere, on a field. Nothing is anywhere around here. You're not in the city, you're not anywhere. And look at all these people. Literally, right now, a bus just pulled up.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because sex sells, my boy. It's all in the name.
The name is Ronnie's Sex Shop.
Right.
So, where are the prostitutes? Where the sex toys?
Been and gone.
No, Ronnie.
We opened up as a joke.
Yeah.
All right. I put Ronnie's shop on the wall in 1989. I wanted to open a farm store. In 1989, there was one car a day, and that was my neighbor. So it never happened.
Not a booming business.
No, there was no business, but the Ronnie shop was on the wall. And I left it, and then 2 years later, some of my friends added the sex. And I was furious.
They added it without you approving of it?
I didn't even know. I came back from the beach, and I had a sex shop, and I was furious. And I left it. It stood empty for about 7 years. And in that time, people were stopping and talking about it. And just as for a joke, we opened a bar. And
So it was not a bar and a restaurant like it is now?
No, there was nothing. It was a broken down labourer's cottage with Ronnie's sex shop on the wall. And then we opened a bar for fun. We were drunk for months. They came from everywhere. And then it just grew. And that was in 1997, so it's 20 years down the line.
20 years down the line, and the booming business ever since. And in here, you're selling T-shirts and...
We're selling T-shirts and caps and badges, and then we got the bar, and then next door we got a kitchen where it sells milkshakes and coffee and hamburgers and light meals.
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful.
And you're just sitting here in the back counting the money.
No, I'm not counting money. I'm drinking beer like a good South African boy should do. And watching people come and go. Talking to strangers and becoming friends with them because they come back.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. We get repetitive business a lot.
Yeah.
On a normal day, we do about 250 people, so we're okay.
It's almost what you had in a year back then.
10 years, maybe.
Yeah. So you ended up forgiving your friends?
No.
No?
No. How dare they deface my building? No, I'm not cross anymore. I've forgiven them.
But you're not giving them a piece of the pie.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
So good to see you, Rob.
You too. You have a great trip.
The place I'm staying here in Aushorn is a place I found on Airbnb. And even though it was just listed as a private room at the host's, I have the whole annex building. There's a kitchen, there's a bedroom, and a bathroom with a bathtub. And we're out of the drought now here in this area, so I can actually fill that bathtub, which I think I might be doing tonight. I'm sitting here in the front porch of this annex in front of a big lawn, and they have a swimming pool. They told me that I could use it if I wanted to. I don't think I will. I think I'll have a quiet night and then go and grab something to eat. I found a restaurant called Jemima's. I had a cup of coffee this afternoon when I got here, and I'm going there for dinner tonight. But then I will just be here on the patio preparing what to do tomorrow. And tomorrow I'm going to Naisna. It's not that long a drive. It's only 120 kilometers south along down to the coast. And it should be a very beautiful little city. So I will try to get there early afternoon and have some time to discover Naisna. It should be very nice now. Sorry. And I'm so looking forward to that. My name is Palabo, and I gotta keep moving. See ya.